I can't believe it myself, guys. I'm coming to you again via a computer screen, not in front of you in class at school, because once again I am quarantining because once again there is a positive case of COVID-19 inside of my house. Perhaps you remember last time it was my brother who lives with me. He had COVID-19 and did not infect anyone who lived here, including his fiance. But now his fiance has also come down with a separate case of COVID-19, and we need to quarantine again. I do not have a positive test at this moment. I'm testing today, actually. I expect a negative test because I don't have any symptoms, but we'll see. But whether I'm positive or negative, what's for sure is I will not be in school this week. And it is not good timing. It is not good timing because this week for you is the end of quarter one and is the end of this class. And so this video is going to be super important because in this video I need to lay out the expectations for what is going to happen on either Wednesday or Thursday, depending if you are maroon or gold, on your final summative assessment, that being the multiple choice test that you are going to take on all the different topics that we've been studying over the last couple weeks. And so there's an assignment to go with this video because I need to know that you know what the expectations are. And so I am going to lay out those expectations throughout this video, and you will need to submit an assignment at the end of this video that shows me that you understand those expectations. So let's talk about the test. For my in-person learners, the answer to this first question is super simple. You will take the test on the last day of in-person learning, the day you would have taken it anyways. For maroon kids, that means either 4th or 5th hour on Wednesday. For gold kids, that means either 4th or 5th hour on Thursday. When you show up to class, you will have about 15 minutes to study and review your materials, to print off your study guides, and at about the 15-minute mark in each hour, the test will unlock. You will not have access to the test until about 15 minutes into the hour. Once the test is unlocked, I will have the substitute get you going on that test. You will have the entirety of the class period to take that test, although I don't anticipate that many of you will need it. Actually, I'd anticipate that most of you will finish inside of like 30, 45 minutes. You won't need the whole rest of the class period to do it, but you have the rest of the class period if you need it. The test will stay open through the end of class, and then it will shut down again, which is why it's very important if you're a distance learner to pay attention to this next part. Distance learners, I have been treating you as gold students this whole quarter, and I'm going to continue to treat you as gold students for this last test, meaning you are going to take the test on Thursday. And the time of day you're going to take it on Thursday depends on what hour you are listed in. If I am listed as your 4th period class, then you will tune in at the beginning of 4th period. You got to be logged onto Canvas and ready for that test to open up. 4th hour begins at 10:45, so I have the test coming unlocked at 11 o'clock for 4th hour, and you'll have about an hour and a half to complete that. If you're 5th hour, the test will be coming unlocked at about 1:15. So online learners for 5th hour will have to log in at 1:15, and you will also have about an hour and a half to complete that test. Home learners, if you are stuck at home this week, if you are usually a distance learner, or if you are usually, an in-person learner, and you are at home today on the day of the test, then you will need to take the test on the time you would take it if you were in class that day. So if you are usually 4th hour maroon, you're not going to wait just to take it 5th hour on Thursday, or 4th hour on Thursday, just because you happen to be an online learner this week. Your name is associated with the hybrid learners, with the in-person learners, which means you will be in the group whose test will be unlocked 4th hour at the 4th hour time on the maroon day, which is Wednesday. So make sure you know what hour you have this class, especially for you online and home learners, and what time this class starts, so you know when you need to be online ready to take the test. And if you miss your test window, that's a problem. If you miss your test window, that's a problem, and you should get in touch with me ASAP so we can figure out a solution to that problem. How many questions will be on the test? The answer is 26 questions. But let me tell you what those 26 questions will look like. It starts with 25 multiple choice questions, 25 multiple choice questions that are each worth 1.2 points apiece. Might sound weird to have questions worth 1.2 points apiece, but I'll tell you why. Me and the other world history teachers agreed that our multiple choice section of our test would be 30 points for this final summative assessment. So rather than invent 5 extra questions for you to answer, which would have equaled 30 questions, I just left it at 25 questions and made them slightly more valuable. 25 times 1.2, if you get out your calculator, that equals 30. So that's why those questions are being scored with kind of a weird point total. And then there's one more question, question 26. And question 26 is worth 10 points, and it is an essay question. And it's an easy essay question. The essay question is something to the tune of, what's the most important thing you learned this quarter? How does that thing help you understand history? How does that thing help you understand the world today? And why is that thing important to you, or how could that thing be useful to you in your life? You cannot get this question wrong, but you can lose points on this question by not writing enough. So I am asking you to think about this a little bit in advance. But you know what? Like, you shouldn't even need to really think about it. You've got a whole quarter behind you of studying world history. And what I'm asking you to do is basically write me a paragraph, 5 sentences, that talk about, out of all the stuff we've studied, out of all the stuff we've learned, what are you gonna walk away with from this class that you might keep with you? What's like the most important thing you've learned? And it can literally be anything we've talked about. And so think about what that might be. Think about how that thing might help you understand history, how it might help you understand the world today, how it might be useful to you in your life, and just write about that a little bit. I would think that I would hope that everybody in this quarter has at least learned one thing that they can say, you know what, this was kind of important to me and this is something I can use. And so tell me a little bit about what that is. That will be worth 10 points, and as long as you answer all the questions and have a paragraph of at least 5 sentences, you cannot lose points. But if you don't answer all the questions, or if you don't write enough, you can. These are easy points, they're summative assessment points, they're super important points. Please, please, please make sure you get them. What resources can I use on the test? The answer is your study guide, and your study guide only. I gave you a study guide at the beginning of this unit. I've been asking you to fill it out with each day of the unit with new information that could be helpful to you on the test. That is the only resource that I want you to have access to. We agreed in class last week that the study guides would be up to 4 pages in length. That's single side, so if you have 4 sheets of paper, there should only be information on one of those sides. If you are printing double side, then you should only have 2 sheets of paper. And that is the resource that you can use on the test. Remember, you need to print this thing off. You can print it off before you come to school on your test day, or you can print it off when you get to school, even at the beginning of class. This is why I have 15 minutes before the test goes live. That 15 minutes gives you time to print off your study guide. There's a printer right outside my classroom in the flex space that you can use, and if you're having trouble, ask the teacher that's subbing or have them send for a tech person that can help you out, because that study guide is going to be important. And the reason I want you to print it off and not just leave it on your computer is because I have a feature set up on Canvas that will tell me if you've been looking away from your test screen. And the reason it's telling me that is because I'm telling you right now, I do not want you to look away from your test screen. Once you have opened your test, I want you to stay on your test screen. I don't want you opening up new windows on your browser. I don't want you going into other documents on your computer, because I want to know that the only resource that you're using is your study guide. And so if I get a report that you've been clicking outside of your window, and this goes for online learners too, that's going to be a problem. because I don't want you to just be able to Google answers. If you have answers on your study guide, great, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you just know the right answer because you've been engaged in the learning and you've been paying attention, great, that's what you're supposed to be doing. But especially with the multiple choice test, it really shows me nothing if you can just go into Google for some of these questions and just Google the right answer. That doesn't show me learning and it doesn't show me engagement. So I want to make sure that only people who actually have been following through on doing the study guide get that advantage. And if you haven't done the study guide, well then hopefully you were learning and hopefully you can still get the right answer just from the knowledge that is in your head. But yeah, make sure you're doing those study guides and make sure that you have that thing printed off or you have a means to get that thing printed off when you get to school on test day. If you have any questions about that study guide, make sure that you let me know. Last question, what do I do when I'm done? Two options for you, whether you're in person and submitting the test on Canvas or at home and submitting the test there. The first thing you should do with your remaining time in my class is get in your missing assignments. Whether they're old missing assignments, whether they're new missing assignments, whether they're formative assessments, and especially if they're summative assessments, get those missing assignments in. You've got several days to do it. I will be doing my final grades the following Monday, November, I think it's 9th, and that is when I want all missing assignments delivered to me. But there's a lot of time between that Monday and the time you should be finishing up your tests. There's a couple weekdays and a whole weekend for you to catch up on stuff that you might be missing. And with every missing assignment that you deliver, and especially if you've still got missing summatives, those should make a very marginal to a very significant improvement of your grade. For some of you, getting those missing assignments in will be the difference between whether you pass my class or whether you do not pass my class, and we'll need to retake it sometime next year for credit. I would love it if there were 0 students in that boat by next Monday, but that can only happen if people come through and do the work they've missed out on over the course of this quarter. That's option 1. Option 2, what you can do when you're done with the test, and this is for people who don't really have missing work and are still looking for an opportunity to maybe improve their grade. Extra credit opportunity assignment, reading some articles about the election. The election is happening soon. It hasn't happened yet at the time of this video, but I can promise you no matter what happens, whether we know the winner, whether we don't, a lot of local publications like the Star Tribune, the Pioneer Press, Minnesota Public Radio, and the Forest Lake Times are going to have lots of articles about lots of different aspects of the election. Social studies is this class. This is a social studies class, and I want you to be informed on social studies stuff happening in the world. The election is one of those things. Read some articles about the election, write a summary, write a reflection. You can see more on the assignment description that will come out on that day, but that will be an opportunity to perhaps up your grade, even for those of you who don't have missing assignments. And you can start by helping to ensure that you won't have missing assignments by doing the assignment attached with this video right now, answering the 4 questions that I just answered so that I know that you understand the expectations heading in to Wednesday and Thursday on that final summative assessment. I am available via email, guys, so please reach out if you have any questions about this or any questions about anything else that has to do with my class, and I'm sure you're going to be hearing more from me this week as I do my best from my home office to try to get you through this last week of the quarter and help you be as successful as you can be in World History A. Hope to hear from some of you. I'll see you soon.